Three or four years ago, Stevie called me and he was tired of a flower bed. And he said, I'm gonna plant corn in it. Me and Sophie's gonna plant corn in it. I said, all right. I said, well, look, I'm gonna send you the corn. I'm gonna send you the fertilizer, just like I did Molly. I said, I'm gonna send you that. I taped it up, you know, and send it to him. I said, I'm gonna send you, just call me when you get ready to plant. Work it up, call me when you get ready to plant. Month goes by, I ain't heard from him. He calls me and he says, hey, is this wrong? Like, it's all come up and I got way too thick of corn. I said, you didn't call me. He said, well, it can't be that hard. I said, I don't put a timing map in the car and not call you. I said, so how come you can't call me? So he put 2 seeds in each hole. It's 1 seed to the hole, 6 to 8 inches apart. He puts 2 seed in each hole about 2 inches apart. And he wonders why he didn't make any corn. Like, I don't know. So it's 18 foot across, and you know it's plenty high, so we want to put a floor in it, put 2 beds upstairs.
That'd be cool.
And then have a whole, you know, living room, kitchen, bathroom downstairs, right? Sleep 2 people pretty easy, you know.
Where would you put it?
It's going to my
That's
house.
the thing. So they fix to come in here with a crane to set this other stuff up. We're just gonna pick it up with a crane. And we're gonna move it down there to the house and set it back up.
There you go.
So we fixing to get on the gator and we're gonna ride down there, and then y'all gonna help us 3 pick where we're gonna set it at.
That sounds good.
We were charging.
Chad got me last time I got on skateboard. I always I don't ever get on them.
So she stopped and I was like, and we come across and I'm like,
Chad,
I was like,
it shows how much you weigh. He was like,
I said, oh my. And one time Marie was standing on the walk across and I still have 1 foot on. I'm like, darn, Marie. She's like, that is not right. They come through this lane. And when they're unloading or loading, whichever one you unload here, load out here. But they're always on the scales. So that way we always know what they weigh. These scales are split. So it's scales on both sides. So we always know what the truck's weigh. You can pull up here. And we get a sample of the grain. The scales are certified every year. We get a sample of the grain and then take it in, and then then each load, it's got a computer and it's hooked to each farm. And so we know where every load comes from, and that's how it's all this corn goes to chicken.
Okay, they just feed corn.
how much do y'all weigh out every year? Like, how much y'all produce?
Jackson, how much you weigh out every year? We have somewhere around, we'll bring through here. Corn it averages what, Jackson?
How much can you hold a year?
Corn is, most time in corn makes somewhere around 500,000 bushels.
And you have 150 loads of wheat. So
We'll have
that's
150 loads of wheat here,
650,000.
150,000 bushel wheat, and then we always bring somewhere around 60,000 bushel of beans in here.
Wow.
And then it gets in there, you decide which one it goes in, and then you got a diverter up there, and you change it to the pipe, and it goes down to whichever bean you tell it to.
Oh, wow. What kind of corn is this?
This is Stevie corn. Marie said this, I didn't say it. And then Molly said something about it too. It's kind of short and stocky. But it's, other than that, this kind of corn Stevie grow right here. This is exactly what you grow when you don't pay attention to corn.
Every car?
Me and Chad, this is what he was driving when we met.
Of course it's a view.
I know that he got
You know what she did? This is what Marie did when we met, and I said, hey, you on a ride? She went, oh. You want to say it again?
Oh. This is crazy.
Here.
This one? To race?
No, to drive.
To drive.
So this will be the next one that we... This car my mom and dad bought brand new.
Wow.
And mom and dad bought it new, and then I drove it till I was 18. And then my sister drove it till she was 20.
Wow.
birthday
15th birthday.
15th birthday present, yeah.
This was Savannah drove until she got married. This is one Marie. This is the car.
Yeah.
This is the car Marie raised kids in.
Yep, 12, I drove that car for 12 years.
Really?
With 2 kids.
Hold up.
Oh, I love
I
it.
cleaned milk off the front window where Jackson would throw it up to the front. Throw the cup to the front. I had clean milk off the front window.
I crank like what?
This one Chad got when he was 18, it's got 36,000 miles on it.
That's the first
We
one.
special ordered it. So yeah, we gotta get them to our shop so we can get them cleaned up and.
After we got out and run with this car, we put 100 horse of nitrous on it. So since 17,000 miles, it's had 100 shot of nitrous on it. 7 or 8 of these. Jump up in there.
This-
It's got a leather seat in it. It's heat cooled. I mean,
Wow. This is fancy.
I have about 2 weeks a year. Either maybe one in plant and then maybe one in harvest when we're the busiest times when we're cutting corn and planting wheat or cutting beans and planting wheat. We're trying to do 2 things at once. I'll have a week or 2 a year that I'll work. The most I've ever worked is 118 hours.
That's insane.
So, but I mean, it's just, it's just trying to get so much done, at one time.
It's not like you can exactly just, make it.
Yeah, you can't
right.
just get it done,
Yeah,
I mean, and all of farming is timing.
Right.
All of farming is timing. Either it's good timing or bad timing, but it's timing. And a lot of it, we can plant so much so fast. The corn planter will plant 300 acres a day, 350. These bean planters right here, I've seen 2 of these plant 450 acres a day.
Wow.
So I mean, so you're either doing it a real good thing or a real bad thing, because the timing is still the timing. So this machine, with most everything we have is John Deere. This is a cloth. So this is German engineering, and this is the newest thing we bought. It's 1 year old.
Is this a harvester?
Yep, this is a harvester on tracks. So this is a harvester. This is a harvester. We have 4 of these. So here's one right here. So here you go. So this is what we plant wheat with. This is a drill, and this is what we plant wheat with. This is on a 7.5 inch spacing. So the spacings are real tight. One here, there. That's why they're staggered in. So that's a planter down there. That planter's on 20 inch spacing. So we'll have some things we plant on 20s, some things we plant on 7.5s, some things we plant on 15. This planter down here is on 15 inch spacings. And the reason for all the different spacings is most of all our corn is on 30 inches. Okay, then the 15s and 20s is things that we're experimenting with on how tight the row pattern needs to be.
So how much will he spray in a day?
Jackson on a good day will spray 1,000 acres.
Wow.
On an average day, he'll spray 600-700. Just about any day. So this thing sprays at 120 foot booms. It's 120 foot booms. It has individual nozzle control.
Wow.
So the machine over here on your left this is an older machine, and it has 11 sections. So 11 of these sections will cut on and off when you go across where you've already sprayed. Saves chemical, saves overlap, saves you money.
Smart.
And you're able to get across the accurate amount of acres. This machine has what they call exact apply on it. This exact apply is individual nozzles, and it has an LED light in the bottom. If you're spraying at night, it's all LEDs in it. And each nozzle cuts off as it goes across the spot where you sprayed or hadn't sprayed. Wow. So when you get to a spot where you've done sprayed, you'll start just trickling them down and cutting nozzles off one at a time. So this is I think this machine's 1 year old, 2 years old.
Wow.
You see this arm, this big arm up here? So this is full timing on a pivot. This is what happens when it don't take but like a quarter degree, and it'll pop a wheelie right up in there. And then it just pulls everything loose, flops over out here on the ground. And it makes it real hard, when you're trying to grow real good corn. This is nothing like corn Stevie grew, but let's just talk about this corn here. We'll just grab this one. And Stevie be like, I ain't never seen one of them because they never made it this far. Like it never did get this far. But this is us doing us at the farm here. This is what we're after. This is the first time that one's ever popped a wheelie and turned over. So what happened was, see what had happened was, this thing runs up here, and that arm that's right there up in there, it hits this stop. You can take one finger and stop this thing, just one finger. You can push on that arm, as it walks, that arm comes back, electric switch in there, stops it, tell it to stop or tell it to go the other way, right? Well, when it walked up here, it went over the stop. So it didn't know to stop. So then this pivot stop was doing its job. That's what it is. It won't, you can't get through this. The way the design of it is and the way it hits here, it'll keep on spinning. Well, it must have grabbed a hold because it turned over. The rows around are determined when this corn is this big. V5, 5 leaves on it. This around is determined in. You want this thing to be happy. You remember me coming over to your house and you had those tillers coming out, no shoots, and I said that's when it's happy. So some of that stuff you can see from it, and it's got everything it wants, and it determines that length, that around. Okay, when we get to somewhere around V10, which all the V stages is before it starts doing this, okay? So it's vegetative. So when we get to the vegetative stage, about 10, then we determine the length. Okay, the length is determined by the fertility that you've had, how happy it's been, the variety that it is, and even, you know, what kind of weather we've had. You know, you could get hot and dry, you could have had a bad windstorm, you know, those things all affect the plant. It always does. So this is kind of what you have. Now you're always just going to have a certain size ear. So you hear about people talking, if you start Googling this and how much corn people make, you'll hear people talking about the world record right now is 652. We're exactly halfway of the world record. Okay? There ain't been but probably 10 people that's been over 400. But being that said, what we're after here, you know, corn is made and sold by bushels. Well, bushels are made by weight. So weight trumps everything. So when we get this ear so big, we got to keep on feeding it because it's got to get heavier. Because it don't know how many kernels on here, all it knows is how much weight it is. We want this thing to weigh, of wet corn, the goal would be for it to weigh 1 pound. Wow. So let's spin this camera around here.
Oh no.
So the question was from Molly, which is Chuck Ford's daughter, what kind of research did we do? The best terms I can put it in is, you know, you've probably seen your daddy and Stevie on a dyno.
Blowing it up.
Blowing it up.
Yep.
Hanging pistons out of it.
Yep.
Replacing pistons.
Catching the ceiling on fire.
Catching the ceiling on fire. That's what kind of research we do. Same way. People say that we competition farm, and we do. Like, I got a hat that's got 4 or 5 bets in it. I guess that could be a competition farm, you know.
You're grudge farming.
We have been known to do some grudge farming.
And you have records too, don't you?
We might have a record or two, you know, but you know, it's just really what we do with our farming is just like the testing on a race car. So when you say competition farming, yes, it is a competition, but what we're trying to get is a little bit of money back for what we spend. All companies have R&D to some extent. Look at the stuff that Motion Racework puts on cars. Look at how well they do and putting stuff on cars, getting race parts out there, building great, genuine, all-American parts. So this is the same way with corn. We use our R&D and we stick that into competition stuff, and that is our R&D for the rest of the farm. Then we keep adding to our programs to make the farm average. That's what it's about. It's not about a competition. It's about setting records and winning championships. It ain't about one good hit and one hit wonder. We're about winning championships down here. And this is winning championship is farm averages. I think we hold 4 of them. I don't think we got 2
You're
of them.
talking about the state record.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the record you win every year.
Yeah, but that's the state stuff. But those are every one. There's 6 different categories in the state of Alabama. And we hold 4 of them, hold the record in 4 of them.
And you have
out
for
of
the
the
past 10 years.
Yes, and we've held it.
And what's it like holding the LDR world record?
Well, you know, it ain't much, but it's honest work. So this is the corn that we grow. This is the corn Steve grew at his house when he put 2 to a hole. Here we are now, and we're rolling into this subdivision down by the house. And this is what we used to do for money. You know, everybody thought, you know, hey, I was cooking dope, or Marie's like, she hates it when I say that. So this is what we used to do for money. They come to me one time and they said, we're about 1.5 miles from the farm, and they said, hey, you want to bid on our keeping the landscaping up on our gate down there? And I'm like, ooh, race car money. And I said, I don't know, what was the bid last time? They said, oh, about $12,000, $13,000 a year. I said, oh, hell yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So we bid this thing in. I waterboyed my lawnmower straight down here. We got the bid. I come down the road, man, on the lawnmower. Had the weed eater across my lap. 3.5 hours later, every 10 days, gone. This thing supplied the race car for 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
This was my granddaddy here.
Oh, wow.
How'd your family get farming?
So this farm was bought in 1909. This is a Centennial farm, and we had it certified with that and give that to Dad a few years ago. You know, so that was neat for him. But they come from around Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and they come in here and bought these 2 farms together.
Wow.
And
awesome.
so my great granddaddy went to jail for a year and a day for moonshine, and so my granddaddy had to quit school in 9th grade and keep the farm going.
So, Chad, how did you meet or get involved with Stevie and KTR?
Ooh. So I think I met Stevie in 2008, 2009. Definitely from 10 and 11, 12. Like, I mean, man, we run pretty good then. Run good together. But 8 and 9, I mean, and he could probably tell you like the day, you know, he probably hit you with, oh, it was Orska, July 22nd, 9. I walked by and he was struggling with a Buick and go from there. But no, we met in that time frame and we was in competition with each other. And, man, we had some good ones. We went to, I mean, it was several races that I'd qualify one or he'd qualify one, and then we'd be in the finals. I think we went to 3 or 4 finals that year, you know, against each other. And I think, I don't know if I won one of them. I don't know if I won any of them. I couldn't get Marie and Monty at the time to turn it up enough. So that's kind of when we met Stevie. And then we remained friends, like we was buddies the whole time. We hit it off from day one. So then it was always, you know, the PRIs, and we'd hang out at PRIs, and he's got Stevie stories from PRI, and you know, when we'd go down there and it'd be 4, 5, 6 of us piled up in the room, you know, me and him, Marie, you know, Dusty Bradford, Stevie piled up in the room, trying to make a name for yourself or trying to get a little bit of help. You know, I can remember when he went to I remember I was with him when he went to Pro Charger and told me, he said, I'm going to ask him $50,000. And I thought it was just, and today that would be like asking for $1 million, you know. So I can remember that. So, you know, it's a lot of memories back. So, and then we're going to fast forward a little bit. And we was racing against him, you know, and he was moving on up, but we was racing, and then when Monty Smith passed away, then we didn't really know where we was going. You know, Monty run the program on the Buick, and you know, through Holly, and we didn't really know. Like, me and Marie had lost 2 crew members at the time, and within 6 months of each other. You know, Micah White had died. He done all the paint work, went everywhere with the car, and you know, and then Monty passed away 6 months later. And we didn't really know, like, you know, which way we was gonna go, because the racing meant so much, you know, because all our racing is like family. You know, it's all a family together, you know, and everybody wants to go win, but it's a community. You know? It is. So we didn't know, and I remember Stevie called me, and he said, "How you doing, buddy?" I said, I'm all right, you know, I'm good, you know, it just is what it is, I'm all right. And he said, well, just call me when you're ready to talk. I got you. And it meant a lot. You know, there's a lot of those things that's always meant a lot. You know, it's always knowing that you got friends, you know, in our racing community, as you will, that's always got your back. You know, we got through that, and then he shows up, and I call him, and we go forward with Nitrous Steel, and he shows up at Memphis. He flies into Memphis, and man, everything starts changing then. I mean, we unwiring kits, we running new wires, we changing the 4-link. I mean, it goes from, it goes Stevie style. So, the rest is history. Then we come off the nitrous motor, they put weight on us, and here we go.
And now you have the record. So where were we last night? We were at a tractor pull. Would you like to do that someday?
We've definitely thought about a tractor pull. I would have definitely got into tractor pulling, but I got to get Marie into it. You know, she's the right hand of this thing and keeps this thing on. Look at that right hand right there. She's the right hand of this Buick. If y'all know, y'all would think like she's a right hand, left hand, and I'm like on the side over here somewhere for y'all that know Marie. But she never liked the dirt. Like, I could have done it, I think. I would have loved it, but she never liked the dirt. But you know, I think I got her convinced. You know, I do like them little mini rods. And you know, they do have a Chuck 4 blower on most of them. Some of them, the one we'd run would. It would have a KTR power plant in it. So, you know, when you say like, well, hypothetically speaking, we could be probably doing a little pulling, you know, so. I can promise you one thing, we went to the pools last night and it was enjoyable. Those guys do a great job. But we would definitely change that sport up a little bit. And it would probably be for the worse, like we probably look like fools out there. But I can bet one thing, we would definitely whack the throttle. I don't know why they wouldn't whack the throttle. I'd whack the throttle when I come in, I'd probably whack the throttle again when I left. But we would just slide this Buick motor straight out the Buick when it got hot, and then we slide it right in one of them tractors, and then we slide it right back out. I don't know. It may be something to do in the summertime, right?